How you doing? Hiding out from everybody in here? You can see, look, there's alfalfa, orchard grass, timothy, there's clover in there. And oh, let me show you this, guys. This is awesome. I drove the buggy across here. Now look, it's stuck on a spider web. Hope you can see that. Look at all of those grass seeds. If you come over here where the spider web's not, look at that. Look at that. All that grass seed going down into the soil. And we're replanting our pastures. And the cattle are gonna do it for us. Peace and joy, guys. Welcome back to another video. Drumheller Farms. We are a first generation regenerative farm here in South Central Michigan. And today I want to talk to you guys about grass, droughts, regrowth. But first, we got to do chicken chores. So check this out. We got these chickens here that we're finishing. They are very, very close to being done. Over here is a fresh batch, and those guys are about 5 weeks. And then that tall one over there, we got turkeys that will be ready right about the holiday season. And then we do have a fresh batch of chicks that we're brooding back at the home farm. So come along with me today. I'm gonna get chicken chores done. I'm gonna check on the heifers. We've got a separate group of cattle over here. Those are the heifers because the bull is in our herd right now. So we've got those separated. We'll check on those and then we'll go see the cattle and do a cattle move. So come along with me. Appreciate you watching. Let's go. Very easy to move chickens. Running by myself today. Allison is still at work at our city business. Chores normally take us about 2 to 2.5 hours a night, just depending on, you know, how things go. You know, if we have to move the pigs, it's going to take a little longer than that, but generally somewhere around 2 hours. What this is a non-GMO grain ration, and this is a crumble mix. This is from Callenbach Feed Company. I get this through Napoleon Feed Mill. That's a company here locally to us here in Jackson County. And what I'm doing is I'm filling up these 4-foot feed troughs from Premier One. I'll tell you, I use some, you know, ones you get at a local farm store, Tractor Supply or whatever, and you would need about 4 to 5 of them to take the place of this one here. This holds about a little over 20 pounds of feed, and just one of these is enough to get through the whole day with the amount of chickens that we're raising in our tractors currently. These are a 10 by 10 foot by 2 foot tall chicken tractor, they call this. This is the Joe Soliton style chicken tractor. This is a vinyl, corrugated vinyl material. Keeps it very cool inside there. We do have openings on the back and partial sides to allow cross ventilation. That is the Plasson Auto Water. If you're gonna make chicken tractors and you're gonna do this chicken stuff, that is a very important feature to your chicken tractor. This is the most important thing, this wire that goes from side to side, I believe. And this is a 5-gallon bucket. You fill it up with water. This is a bulkhead fitting. That's how you connect your Plason auto water to a 5-gallon bucket. When I started this, I could not find anybody that talked about what kind of fittings to use. That's a bulkhead fitting, 3/4 inch bulkhead, and I put shutoffs on all mine, which just makes it convenient. I put my doors on hinges. It's not necessary, but you can do so. And when I came out here the other day, all the chickens were up at the front of the crate, and I could see through the other side there, and there was a big old hawk sitting out there just wanting to get inside there, and he couldn't figure out how. And here's the smaller guys. In these 10x10 chicken tractors, we are running somewhere in the neighborhood of 30 to 60 chickens in each of them. Now, last year we were running on that higher side, 50 to 60 chickens. We were doing 200 to 250 per batch, and you can do that in this size of a chicken tractor. You got 100 square foot here essentially, so you can do that, but you have to move them more than once a day. So what I've done this year is we've decreased the amount that we put in each tractor. So we're running, you know, somewhere in the neighborhood of 30 to 40 birds per tractor. And, you know, they get more space, so therefore they produce less manure, and you don't have to move them quite as often. What I found is, you know, around that 35 birds per tractor with 100 square foot, my labor is less because I don't have to move them twice a day. If you're gonna do this, if you're gonna get chickens and build tractors and do this moving chicken tractors all the time thing, I highly, highly, highly recommend you build yourself a tractor dolly. Now, the very first year, I did not have a dolly. I pulled these things twice a day by hand, and let me tell you, I'm still dealing with the after effects of coming out here at 6 o'clock in the morning and yanking these tractors because my back is jacked. I built this dolly, and I mean, you've seen how easy it was to move those. You know, a kid could move them pretty easily with this tractor. So I do have a video on building that tractor, so check that out and just take a look and see how easy this is to move with this tractor dolly. Okay, check these things out, guys. This is the first day I've seen turkeys puffing themselves up like that. See, a couple males in here that are strutting around thinking they're tough stuff. But this chicken tractor is made out of 2x4s, 2 foot on center, so it's a little heavier, but still very easy to move with that dolly. And we had somebody reach out to us a couple videos ago and say, hey, I just want to let you know that turkey tractor is way too small. They're gonna outgrow it. Answer is yes, we know that, and they will not be in there their entire lives. I'm gonna wait a few more weeks for them to get just a little bit bigger, and then we will net fence them and leave the door open, so they'll be able to go in there for cover, for shade. At night, they'll go in there. I'll let them out in the morning, and they will roam inside the net fence, and we'll move them, you know, weekly or 10 days, whatever it takes. All right, that's it for poultry chores. So let's go talk about some cattle. Let's talk about some grass. Let's talk about this drought we're in here, guys. Before we go and see the cattle and see what they're grazing on, I don't want anybody to talk about drought where my grass can hear it. Because I think you'll see that the grass doesn't know it's in a drought. Because we've done a great job managing through this year. But, well, you'll just have to see. All right, this is our heifer herd, and I'm moving them every 2 days currently. We've gotten 5 paddocks so far out of them. They're on their 2nd day in this paddock right now. There's 12 of them in here. Giving them a strip about 150 to 200 foot long by about 35 foot wide, and they are requiring water to be filled up in this bucket twice a day. I should probably just put an auto water on it and be done with it, but it gives me a chance to take a good look at them, evaluate their forage, see, hey, maybe we'll get to a paddock where the grass isn't as good and they'll need to be moved, you know, before that 2-day mark, or maybe they can go 3 days. We have had since May, so basically from the start of our grazing season, in our area we normally get out grazing, you know, on a really good year, the last week of April, on an average year, the first week of May. We have only had about 2.5 inches of rain in that time, and our temperatures have been high, very hot, sunny, humid days, you know, mid 80s. So it's dry here. It's very dry for us here in Michigan, and we're technically in a drought here. Alrighty, here at the cattle herd, and this is what I said by don't tell my grass that we're in a drought, because they're in some beautiful forage here, and you can see what they've done here. They've took a lot of it right down to the ground, and this is a cow that a heifer that we left on the other side of the fence because she had a calf. Come on, girl. Come on, get up. Come on, get up. There. She is a first-time mother, a heifer, and she was actually a bottle baby. This is Allison's sweetheart right here. We call her Winifred. Her mother was named Wilma, and we used to call her our mascot because we had one Highlander cattle in our herd. She had horns. Everybody loved her. She was so nice. You could pet her just like Winifred. She's a lover because Allison had to bottle feed her. Wilma, her mother, passed away about 2 days after she was born. So we were worried about breeding her because, you know, she didn't have a mother, but she did very well. She nursed her baby. I'll tell you, these South Pole cattle, one thing about them, I'm telling you, they're born and within 5 minutes or less, they're on their feet, and they're suckling from their mamas if they'll let them. And that's exactly what happened with Winifred there. We move our cattle every 12 hours here on the farm, and this is our afternoon move, which I give them less on their afternoon move because they don't eat as much. And on the morning move, during the day, they eat a little more. We'll give them a little bit bigger paddock. I'm gonna hook you on the front of this gator here, and you guys are gonna see just what kind of grass we're working with here in the middle of this drought. Grass gets so tall at some points, it gets almost over my head, and so we have to cut trails through it in order for the cattle to see the fence. I'm not saying we have to, but to me it seems like a smart decision to do so. Oh yeah, I love this. Look at this, guys. Look it. That's grass seed. That's another thing people used to tell me when I started this farm. Well, you got to reseed your pastures. And I'd always say, what do you mean you got to reseed your pastures? Well, yeah, you got to reseed them every few years, you know. What the heck do you think I just did right there? What do you think these cattle are doing? They're stampeding all those seed heads down into the ground. And boy, let me tell you, us driving that buggy, look at the front of it, man. That thing's covered with probably 2 or 3 pounds of grass seed. Believe me, we're reseeding our pastures. We're doing it every stinking year, using the 4 hooves of the animals to do it. And we're not burning fossil fuel. The apple tree was made to replant the apple tree. The grass seed was meant to replant grass. And that's exactly what we're doing here, natural. All right, one thing I'm doing is I'm looking for Winifred's calf. They were hanging out right here this morning. And it also gives you an opportunity to see what we're leaving behind. And you can tell a lot of grass left behind in this paddock. Each one of those blades of grass, like these guys right here, each one of those is a solar panel, harvesting energy from the sun, photosynthesizing, and growing because of the sun. So you take that down way too far and you've exposed your soil for evapotranspiration. So all the moisture that's down into your soil is going to leave. And then you've also not left anything there to harvest solar energy. And that's what we're trying to do here. And just as I suspected, little baby over here. Really don't feel like carrying this thing all the way. Hey baby, how you doing, huh? Oh boy. Come on, time to get up, baby. Come on, I'll take you to your mother. Come on. Can you get up? Yep. Come on. Let me take you. Oh boy, I got you. Well, there she is, Mama. You're welcome, by the way. She's grateful, I can tell. Well, this morning something very interesting happened. We had a cherry tree limb fall down on the fence over here, right in that area. And when we came out here, we seen a yearling had jumped across that. And you know, we went ahead and moved the cattle, and it hopped up and got back with the rest of the herd. And we said, well, we dodged a bullet there. Lucky, no problems. And well, the neighbor here, Karen and Dewey, texted Allison no more than about 10 minutes after we got done moving cattle and said, hey, I got a cow in my backyard. First time that's ever happened. And we had to push the cow down the road and back into the field here. And oh, I actually got to tag this calf. Hey there. That's 120's baby. Nice little heifer calf. And 120 is a dime, so she might be kept. The rest of the herd's about to come in here. So heads up there, little girl. How you doing? Hiding out from everybody in here? You can see, look, there's alfalfa, orchard grass, timothy, there's clover in there. And oh, let me show you this, guys. This is awesome. I drove the buggy across here. Now look, it's stuck on a spider web. Hope you can see that. Look at all of those grass seeds. If you come over here where the spider web's not, look at that. Look at that. All that grass seed going down into the soil. And we're replanting our pastures. And the cattle are going to do it for us. Because I'll show you what they did on the other side here in just a few. You don't know how you graze through a drought. You gotta slow your animals down and give your ground the proper resting period. And a lot of people would say, oh, that's rank. You can't give the cattle that. Well, look down there. Tell me it's rank. The cattle won't eat that. Well, let's look on the other side of the paddock here. And you tell me that. Looks like the cattle ate it to me, huh? Looks like they did a great job eating it. Okay, so recently we had somebody ask us, you know, what are we moving cattle every 12 hours for? Well, what it's doing is it's mimicking the way that naturally herd animals would move as they graze. They would come in, level an area like you see right here, and they would not return until this plant is fully recovered. Okay, which means the grass is not flat at the top like that. It would be like you see over here, where all of these grass come to a point. And you know, in the wild, that might take weeks, it might take months. In certain areas, it might even take years to do so. But the natural way that herd animals and grazers work is they knew how to preserve their forage and how to move with the land. And that's essentially what we're doing. And you can see here, the cattle congregated a lot in this area because, and they still didn't knock those stinking thistles down, probably because the shade was close to the water. It was also a little larger area versus the skinny paddock. So my guess is all day long they probably got up, ran that back and forth, eating the forage, and then they'd come over here, lay down and ruminate. And while there's so much manure here is because when they got up from ruminating, boom, that's where they pooped. And so see a little pad right there. Nice pad. Here's a really nice example of a perfect manure paddy. It's not stacked up. There's a kind of a nice little pond in the middle of it, and not too runny, not too dry. It's got a great consistency to it. You can see there's some beetles already in this thing. See if we can see any more crawling through there. There was a nice little beetle I seen over there. This was just laid, so taking this farm over no more than a few years ago from conventionally farming, and we already got dung beetles. And what those dung beetles are going to do is they're going to mine that manure down in the soil and keep the fly larvae from being able to lay eggs on it, or keep the flies from being able to lay fly larvae on it. So that's what we're doing here. We're breaking the soil cap from these animals and their 4 hooves, and when you're grazing, the stampede action is just as equally important as the consumption that the animal's giving you. And right now we're giving them a little more consumption, tightening them up a little bit, making our grass last as long as we can, because again, we're in a drought. Last chore of the day. It's the easiest chore of the day. Let's go check it out. All right, you can see we're in the woods. This is where we run our pastured pig operation here. You can see these paddocks are growing back really well. and these pigs will be moved tomorrow. So I have a feeling their paddock might be a little rooted up, but they'll be moving tomorrow. And this is about all we have to do with the hogs. They got feed. Looks like I'll have to bring them water tomorrow. The fencer is still beeping green. That's all that really matters. And boy, these guys, they're turning into bacon. Have to bring some water out tomorrow. All right, that's it. That's about all you got to do with those pigs until you move, which I will be moving them tomorrow, and the water will be refilled at that point anyway. So there's no sense of filling up their water. They still got about 15 to 20 gallons in there, it looked like. So tomorrow we'll fill that water up, and it'll be good for the next 5 or so days that they'll be out here. One last small chore. I know I said that was the last one, but got one more to do and call it a day. All right, our egg layers, and they need to move as well, but they're not going to get moved today. Probably tomorrow. Check their food. They got plenty of water up there. They got plenty of food too. It's nice in here, guys, just hanging out, huh? All right, guys, well, I gotta get it. I appreciate you guys watching the video. Go ahead and hit that subscribe button, stick around for a while. If you have any questions about our operation, pop them down in the comment section. You know, let us know what you guys think about our operation and our practices. And if you're interested and you live in our area and you're interested in any grass-fed, grass-finished beef, 100% grass-fed, grass-finished beef, take a look at our website, drumhillerfarms.com. You'll find all USDA certified chicken, pork, turkey, and of course beef. Appreciate you watching again. God bless.